Oscar, you're so dirty. You're letting cats walk on you too. What's going on, everybody, and welcome. Right now we're standing in Grady White's flagship 456. This boat just came back from the Miami Boat Show, and we're gonna get it ready, make sure everything works, and let it go to its new owner. So let's get started. So let's get out of the cabin here. We got our C-zone on, we got our lights on in here. We have a box of rope and chain, which are for our anchor here. We're going to install. There's our radar, which they took off for transport. And we're going to open up everything, check everything out, make sure everything works. So let's start from the front. Alright, walking up front here, we got our tables. Looks like our lights are on, our little courtesy lights are on. These tables move, we'll check those here in a second. First, we have our windlass. Got no rope or chain in it right now. I got a little courtesy light here too for you. It's nice. Let's just see if it works before we do anything. Oh, I bet you there's a breaker for it. I might know a few things about this boat already. There's a couple new things I've seen they've done. But right here is our charger, which creates 24 volts for our bow thruster also. There's our breaker, it's turned off. There we go. Let's try that again. We're working. So let's get our rope and chain in first here. So what I've done is put the box of rope on the ground over here and shove it up here so I can grab it. Now, slide her through our hole here. We can tie it off inside. That should be enough. I can lift this up. Oh, can't lift anything up unless we get to our latches first, huh? There we go. Go in our hole here. Got a spot to tie her off. You gotta just do a triple knot. There's no way that's ever gonna come out of there unless you're hanging it up and you gotta cut it. There we go. Basically self-tightening. Now let's feed the rest of our rope in here. Make sure it doesn't all pile up on top of each other. I got plenty of room down this hole here for tons, but it seems to want to pile up here. Once this gets filled up, it won't do that so much. Plus, when the rope is wet, it's heavier, so it should lay down a lot better. So I just noticed something. I thought I kept pushing the wrong button. I wasn't paying attention. That looks like the down arrow. That looks like it's going up. I'm gonna have to switch the wires on there. I got the wires backwards. This would be up. And that's down. No big deal, we'll fix that once we get a rope and chain up here. Alright, 400 feet later, or whatever it might be, this thing is about completely full. We are down to our chain. You can see here, we just got our bag of chain left. Look at there. Looks like everything's laying down nicely. Plenty more room in there still. Once you get this wet, like I said before, it'll lay down a lot differently and be a lot tighter in there. But we do not have the anchor right this second, so we're just gonna put it all the way up. We'll just hook it on our cleat here. Just to keep the chain and everything tight in case we go for a ride. I'm not sure if this is going in the water today or not, but we're gonna get it ready for that. All right, that's installed. Close our door, lock it back up. So now let's take these apart so we can reverse them. Alright, so I pulled the screws out of this. And if you look close, it says windlass down, and the arrow is windlass up. But what's cool about these, if you take this off, you actually just pull these out. It shows the switch right there. If you look underneath, it's just a contact. They have little dimples on them, so we can just switch these. Basically just turn this around, and that'll be right. There's our down. Do the same with this one. And there's our up. That was easy. Let me screw this back down and we'll continue on. There we go. That was much easier than trying to switch the wiring and redoing all that. They were just backwards when they put them in. Shut that. Make sure our lock works good. Our cleats are good. We'll have to put up our little tent in the front here when we get a chance. Alright, let's look inside of all of our compartments here. This is for storage. Port side. The tables are automatic here. Push the button in a second. They got heavy hinges on them because they stay all by themselves without having a shock on them. Friction hinges here. Same thing over here. Looks like we got a cushion. Gotta make sure all these work, because sometimes they'll get bent at the boat show from people stepping on them. Got latches here for this. Get this cushion out of here. Looks like it's for that table right there. More storage. Lock them back. Let's push our button and see what works here. It's our starboard table. It's like our port table too. They're both working. That's as far as they go up. Make sure our back seat pieces work here too. I think these just pull. When you pull and turn them, they lock into place. Yeah, they got different positions they lock into if you want. Looks like those are both working good. We'll have to find our cushions. They're probably downstairs. We'll slap those on there. Looks like we got rain coming. Try to stay dry today. Right in the front, our cushions are solid except for we have a window here. It just goes up and down though with our, when you open the window, it moves with it. Our armrests here. Make sure they all work. They can get messed up at the boat show too. People stand on them, do other crazy stuff. Boat shows are sometimes damaging to boats, but so far everything looks good on this boat. Alright, let's go downstairs. We're in the forward part of the boat still. Suppose maybe if it's gonna rain, we can do this stuff when it's raining. It looks like our cushions we need for the front. We also got to put our anchor light on the top here. There's our outriggers, the carbon fiber, nice. So I just looked at the radar and it shows rain coming in 15 minutes. So it's a good time to, let's put our canvas up around everything here. That way we can block all this in and we can keep working on it. Should be our red goes to the port side. Green is always starboard. Alright, after fighting this, we got all the canvas on all the way around. It's all zipped up and good. Everything checks out. And it's just starting to rain. So let's go downstairs, push some buttons. Well, we're going for a boat ride on the trailer. Moving us back to the back of the yard here. So let me get all of this crap out of the way here. That way we can check everything. Alright, now that we're clear, let's start from the front here. This cushion should lift up and give us a little storage compartment underneath. There we go. We got a little front storage pouch here. Underneath that is our access to our bow thruster. If you ever need to get in there. In a few videos I've been in that hole before. We got our little fancy rod holders here too. It's pretty clever. Locks into place right here. Got this little lock that you put on there and take them in and out. Nice. Back over here they give you a little safe too. It's pretty nice of them. Keep your stuff, valuables locked up in there. Check our lights here. That's ambient lighting. Oh, that's that track lighting up there. Those are working. This is where that cushion is up front. Let's open this. That looks good. Keep that closed because water will go inside there if you don't keep that seal good. This also has a screen and a shade. Nice. I've always liked the inside of these cupboards. Check it out. We put ambient lighting inside here too. And this one's for, I would say, plates and stuff, because this one's got a different design. We put bottles or cups or whatever in here. Pretty nice. Well, let's push some buttons and start turning things on. There's our lighting. It's our galley lighting there. Our cabin lighting, same as that last switch. Got it in 2 places. Let's turn on our freshwater pump. Let's see if we got any water in here. Somebody's got the sink on in the bathroom. I can hear it running in here. Ain't got no water in it. We can take a look right here though. Already went to the screen real quick. We have 0% on our tank, so we gotta put some water in it. We'll fill our freshwater tank up. Looks like we're good on our diesel side too. We're almost full, 93%. We're also gonna have to run that. But now, since we have shore power hooked up, let's turn on our AC side stuff in the cabin here. Turn our refrigerator on here. I guess we'll just turn it all on. Microwave, our stove top. Don't want to do our water heater until we bleed all of our water system out first. Keep our chargers on. We can turn the AC on because it's not going to hurt it if you run it. It'll just go into high pressure failure mode. It protects itself. There we go. Those are running. Let's take a look at our fridge here. We've got blue lights. We'll leave that on, make sure it gets cold. Here our AC turn on. It's blowing out of our vents. It's in here. No garbage. Our convection oven is working. That's clever. It's got little locks that you open it up with. Nice. That's pretty clever. In our drawers. Oh, TV. I suppose we'll turn that on real quick here too. Nothing in here. Storage. Should be able to turn our stove on too. Power. Just cranking up. Working. Check this. This is pretty cool. It's also for rod storage. Got a little magnet right there that holds it up. I always thought that was a nice feature. The blinds here too seem to be working. Got magnets right here that'll hold them. Oh, we can test our high water. That's super loud. I can't hear anything now. Lines are good over here too. We also got speakers up here, cabin speakers. We'll check that when we check the stereo. So far so good, everything's working. And look at that, we got our mirror with the lights in it here. Let's make sure the switches work here. Oh, that's the ambient lighting up here. Okay, there's our switch lighting for our mirror. We got a blower. Under here, waste basket. Storage. Oh, that's just the access for our valve and all those stuff that's for our toilet here. There's our macerator pump keys. Let's turn this on and make sure our toilet's working. Alright, sound like the pump stopped. Yeah, we got a green light, no blue lights. Everything's good here. Toilet's working correctly. Probably push the button just to double check. She's flushing. Let's make sure our shower doors open up. I thought that was pretty cool too. It pretty much shelters the shower all by itself, so you're not soaking everything down every time you take a shower. Also nice, got soap holders, detachable shower, and more rod holders if you want to use it for storage. You can put them behind here. You get little rod holder spots there. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's look in here. No, there's our front holders for our little, I guess you call like a front awning. There's our covers, Yamaha, Garmin screen covers. Our little secret door. That's for one of our C-zone panels here. Must be for our AC stuff. Yep, microwave, fridge, all that stuff. So that's where our main breakers are for that stuff. And here's our little hidden spot for everything else that's in here. It's pretty nice to actually tell you what is what here on your fuse panels, because that could be confusing if you don't know what's going on. Also, it's labeled though. This Helm stereo. This is our C-zone controller. This is for all of our forward stuff here. Looks like cabin lights, discharge, freshwater pump, all that fun stuff. Here's more AC control stuff. You just got our main power and ground jumps here. You also got an outlet right here for some reason. I don't know what that's for, but I suppose you could plug stuff into it if you needed to. Panel just kind of pops on there with those quick locks. Works just fine. Now let's check and see if our TV works. Let's do a channel search. Well, it works. We want some news. We're gonna leave our fridge on. Let's turn off basically everything here. We need to put oil in the motors. Check everything on the dash now. So we can turn all this off. Shore power reel, shower sump you want on, vacuum head will turn off. Now let's go check one thing real quick before we shut this off. The grill out here. And a little safety switch right here. And on top of these, you also got a little cutting board. Comes off. Pretty clever. On. It's getting warm already. Turn that off. This looks like something new. I don't know if they've had this on the last one or not, but it has a reel for your raw water. You can push a button here. It'll pull itself in for you. That's pretty nice. Alright, before we push all of our dash stuff and do any of this kind of stuff, let's get our motors set up so we can start them since we'll be up here. First thing I want to do is check our oils. We want to check our gear oil and put motor oil in if it doesn't have it already. We'll also grease our prop shafts. Props are already on it, but a lot of times they put barely any grease or none at all because it just went to the show. Alright, let's get all of our top cowlings off here. So check it out. These are brand new. We get to start them for the first time. Well, it says remove cover before starting engine. We got our 2 gallons of oil each for our engines here. Well, I only got 4 gallons there, so I'm gonna have to go back and refill those. They take 1030 for their braking oil. Get rid of our covers off of all of them. We also are going to pop these when we fill them with oil. This is our vent for our vapor separator. That way we can prime the fuel system because there's no fuel right now. So let me get oil in all of these here. It takes a little bit of time considering we have 4 engines and 2 gallons apiece. Our last one here. And that's it. It needs to make up its mind if it's gonna rain or not today. All right, let's take our vent hose off here. This pulls out like that. Try not to make a mess. Now, we can easily prime our system up. I'm gonna do it to the rest of them and we'll go downstairs. Well, I can feel the rain starting, so let's hurry up, get down here. Where is our fuel water separators? There they are. There's our power balls. Let's see if we can get them primed up. It's much easier when you don't have the restriction from the vent. I can hear it pulling on the anti-siphon valve on the fuel tank right now. It's nice when you have 4 motors. I don't think I'm gonna be able to feel my hand here when I'm done. All right, 10 years later here, I think I have them primed up. Let's go shut our fuel valves and we gotta grease our props up. Well, we'll get to our props here after the rain stops. We gotta get our covers back on here, get our vents closed back off so none of this stuff gets wet. All right, I got all the cowlings on just in time. Now, before we get wet, I know that if I start doing anything out here or mess with the motors or start taking things apart, that it's gonna start raining. So that's just what it does to me. I can feel it on its way. So let's go in here, push all of our buttons on the dash. There's a lot going on the dash here. So first of all, you have a key fob. If you hold one, it should turn everything on for us. You usually tell because these switches will blink and then they turn solid, like the horn right there when it's on. So our power is on. If I push our second one here, which I already have on, that is our engines. 3 and 4 doesn't do anything. Cover that up. That's your remote battery switch. This has all the new Yamaha EX stuff, which has a key fob. There's our lanyard we're gonna have to hook up when we start the engines. Got our air conditioning vents, of course you need those. So let's start from port vent. That one's working. Starboard is our next one. And that's working. We got our sunroof here. That panel's out of that side. It's actually sitting right there. Just because we gotta put the radar on, which goes up there. We'll have to pull that one off also. But this guy right here is electric too. Pretty nice. Let's close that because I know the rain's gonna be here. Leave our vents open for now, not a big deal. This also we want to check. There's a screen. Yep. It's all there, all working. Let's see if our Garmin's will turn on here. 1, 2, 3. All right, I think the boys put 100 gallons on each side here. 300 gallons it holds on each tank. We got 37%. That means it's close. It should be 33%, but they might have put a little bit over, who knows. So it looks like everything's good on our Yamahas here. Let's continue pushing buttons. Your wiper on. That's on. Wiper control, so it must be high and low. Oh yeah. That's nice. You got high, low, intermittent. Alright, horn. Oh, these horns are loud in these boats. Let's see if we scare everybody. Nav lights. We don't have an anchor light yet because I haven't hooked it up. But we can check our nav lights. I got them up here on the hard top. And they're both working. Turn those off. Got our aft and forward bilge here. Can't hear it in the camera, but I can hear it running when I push the button. We'll also check the auto float side of it. I can hear it. Got nothing on our accessory switch. You can add something if you want. So all of our buttons work on the dash, besides our anchor light, which we'll test when we install it. Let's make sure our bow thruster works. Well, the light turns on. Let's make sure our button's not pushed down here. Yep. Got the emergency disconnect there. Let's try it now. I can hear it. And we already know our windlass works. Here's our little SD card holder for our Garmin's. Turn our stereo on. It's our Seakeeper display here. We'll try that when we get it in the water. I'm not sure if I'm going to be the one running this or not, but if we do, we'll test that in the water. Station here. Check all of our speakers. Those two are working. There's a subwoofer down here, I can hear it. Speakers up here are working. Got a sub back here too. You feel that it's working. Our forward speakers are working. We'll check our stereo up here, see if it turns on. Yep. A little remote for it. It's working. Well, I guess that little bit of sprinkly rain crap has passed because the sun's out. Alright, come over to the other side of our dash. These are our trim tabs. They're called zip wakes. Basically, just a flat tab comes out of here, puts pressure on the hull. There's two of them on each side. There's one that's got a little, I guess it matches the hull here, so goes down, and this goes down depending. It levels the boat out. They seem to work pretty well. They're really fast. So when these start to cut the water, it really pushes the boat really fast. So pretty cool idea. I can hear them. They have an electric motor. They make a bunch of noise back there. Keeps them at 0. I got a wireless charger here. Nice of them. And we have a Garmin VHF. Alright, enough. Usually these don't have electronics in them, but because this was a boat show one, they put the Garmin's in for us, did everything. Usually we have to do all this stuff in-house before it goes, so it saved us a bunch of time. Well, I guess since the rain is cleared, let's do a gear oil check and grease our props up. We should be able to fire those up. Before we do that though, check this out. I'm gonna check it, make sure it works. I always forget about there's a button hidden underneath here. It says footrest. Look what happens. It looks like a drawer. It's actually a footrest for our center seats here. You also hit air conditioning or heat. Pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. A little footrest there. Alright, I'll show you how to check one of them here. I'll do all the rest of them myself real quick. Basically number 4, Allen. Now our vents and our upper water intakes now. We'll take this out. You got our vent screw right here now. Turn that out. Alright, so now we got that open. I'll take a little zip tie, stick it in the hole here, use it as a dipstick. You can see on the end of it here. Hang on. I don't know if you can see it on the end there. Oh, maybe a little bit right there. So we are full. Yeah, if you ever need to check your gear oil level wise, you can just take a zip tie, stick it in there, use it as a little leveler. So this one's good. Let me check the other 3. They've also switched to O-rings instead of the flat paper seals to do all their seals now. Alright, so I got them all trimmed up so we can grease all of our prop shafts. Our gear oil is all good on all of them. First, let me get that prop off there. Yeah, you can see they put no grease on it, just for the show. They slapped them on there. I'll grease these up really good. Also noticed, this is a left-handed prop, and that's a right, and that's a right, and that's a left. So they're running left, right, left, right. Must make the boat react a certain way, or that's the way they want to perform. Maybe it helps it handle. But it's kind of unique. A lot of times you'll see them run right, right, left, left, or it all depends on the hull setup, I think. Get us some Volvo Penta grease, because, you know, why not? Put a little bit around where the thrust washer goes first. Alright, put some grease down the prop shaft here. Get our nut and washer on there. Here we go. Tighten her down, put our pin in. What I usually do is tighten this down until just can tighten it by hand. So now it's as tight as I can go pretty much by hand. Then I look. You see where the hole would be for our pin there. We just go one more tighter than that, and it's perfect. That way it's not too tight or too loose. And they'll also all get double checked during our 20-hour service, just like all the oils will be changed and our gear oil will be checked again. Okay, our props are done. I got our hose hooked up to our port engine here. We're gonna start that one first. Let's trim them down. I don't know why, but Yamaha says when you start something brand new that has multiple engines with our new EX system here, you have to start the port first and then work your way to the starboard side. I'm not sure why they say that, but that's what they say, so that's what we'll do. Trim down here. The real question here is if they're going to want to start. I primed them, but doesn't mean anything. She fired right up. Well, we got good water flow here. Let's make sure she shifts. Shut that down, turn our power off. I'll start and check the other motors here in a second, but first, let's go down in that hole right there. I can show you around that real quick. So down here is basically most of our components that we need to inspect. This is where we did our priming. And there's a muffler for our generator. I'm not sure what size this is, probably 18K or something. Oh, it's a 12K. They got a 12 mini. We're also gonna prime this and do all this, but we're running out of time today. It's going on 5 o'clock here. Here's all of our batteries. We have 8 here. There's also 2 on the other side of the boat. You got 4, 1 for each motor, and then the back 4 back there are actually all combined to make one big house battery. There's your breakers for outlets and stereo. There's our Seakeeper. Your battery chargers back there on the wall working. Here's our shore power main. Oh yeah, see, they got a little stamp up here to tell you what battery is which. Of course, the ones that always go bad are the house. And those are the ones that are in the back. I've actually had to change out the back batteries before on one of these, because the boat was sitting. You gotta move these batteries out of the way. Slide those ones out of the way in order to get them all out. Kind of just push them all in a row. All of our battery connections, we can check and make sure that everything's tight. Cover this stuff up. And they left me some tape from the factory. There's a galvanic isolator. There's a shore power reel. We'll go to the other side here. This is all of our automated battery switches, so if your little key fob doesn't work, you just open this and turn these manually. There's our air conditioning pump right there. And right there is for our Seakeeper here. That's our pump for that. Come around, we got our C-Zone box for our rear components here. And the raw water pump, I'm guessing. The fresh water's inside the boat. That's that little E-valve thing that actually opens up this valve down here from a switch. And that valve is actually what goes to our box here. And this guy feeds everything. It's a pretty unique design and it works pretty well. But you got all of your feeds out here. It helps to not over pressurize things. You got like a siphon break right there on the top of it. And then you can get in there and clean it out if you need to. It's a pretty clever idea. There's a reverso. There's our fuel filter right there hiding for our generator. Oh, and next to it, that's our antifreeze for our generator right there. And the last thing here This is actually the spot that our ladder goes into, and that ladder goes right there on our dive door. You got dive door on this side, you got one on this side, but this side doesn't allow the ladder on. Only the port side has the ladder things, little spots right there. Well, I'm gonna climb out of the hole. That is it for today. I'm gonna finish running my 3 other engines here, make sure they're all primed and good. And we got to fix a few things here and get our components on the top. Hopefully take it for a ride. I'm not sure if I will be doing it or somebody else will be, but either way, should be going home soon. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching, and I will see you next time. Later. What do we have here? 2 brand new Tierras, dual console, the center console. They both have Mercuries.